I think it's a really great festival of student films and the animations, which unfortunately I've not had a chance to see because we were seeing all the student films in Etiuda. I would like to come back and see just Anima next time, maybe. So I feel like I've seen only a very small part of the festival, but I was really, really impressed by the quality of the work that I saw for student films. But then personally, there's something very, very special for me about this festival. Completely just for my own reasons, which is when I was a student at New York University, Etiuda&Anima was the first festival to give any film I ever made a prize. You know, and I was making films in New York, and it was my very first short films, and you know, not sure, not getting a lot of encouragement, and then, oh, this festival in Poland gives me a little prize, and it was only an honorary mention. After, I think, as I told the audience, it's not really that good a film, it doesn't deserve one of the prizes, but for me, it meant so much personally to get this, because when you're starting out, you know, you have the encouragement, and the work I made after is very different, but for me, this was very special, and this was one reason I said yes. I made other short films. It was like the last short film I made in film school, and then after it showed me what I didn't want to do in a way. Again, it meant a lot to have the encouragement, but I think student films sometimes should not be successes, they should be failures, you know, because you learn more by failure than you learn by a success. So for me, maybe the films that didn't get into Etiuda, or the films that didn't win prizes here, the films that were mistakes, are maybe more important for those filmmakers in the end than the films that are successes. Well, I guess one of my tips for young directors would be not being afraid to make mistakes, because I think too often students want to, you know, show a professional work, and, you know, maybe it's a little safe, but it's perfect. It's very, I mean, it's not so easy to make something that's perfect technically, but with today's technology, you can make something that's quite good technically. You know, that sometimes I think to throw yourself into something and fail, you know. I hate to be encouraging people to make bad movies, but I think the bad student films are just as important as the good student films. That said, we saw an awful lot of good student films in this festival. We did a workshop with students, and I was thinking, like, what do we do? Because I didn't know they're going to be film students, you know, people that like film. Is a real mix of people. And I did a workshop on something that to me is super important, which is sound in film. Because I came to film from sound, not from photography, not from painting, but through sound. And so that's kind of what we've been focusing on in the last 2 days, is coming from the sound and not the image, you know, and then of course putting the sound together with the image, and it's been great. It just finished. I was so impressed with the work they did. So many people do think that, you know, film is picture, but of course you're experiencing film, you know, with the two primary senses of sight and sound. And too often people think about the eyes, but they don't think about the ears. And I think the ears is like, a lot of emotion comes in through the ears, a lot of feeling comes in, and it's often neglected. And really, when an audience is watching your movie, they're really hearing your movie. We say watching a movie, but you're also hearing a movie.